All right. Okay. Alright. Logitech camera settings. Alright. Okay. Alright. Now let's go through and wait. Alright. Okay, this is better, I think. I was playing around with these things and I think I just accidentally killed my last stream. Sorry for the guy that was in there. And what I might do is change that to, no, not to that, to that. Okay, and that. Okay. What we do also might go through while we stuff around. And let's have a look at some videos. I was just watching the Young Turks video and it kind of pissed me off. I know I shouldn't watch those videos, but oh, God, they're so bad. Subscriptions. Where is it? Yeah. The Young Turks. Video. Okay, here we go. Copy the link. Add media source. Input file. No, I don't do that. I go delete. Yes. Add. Alright, so let's change that to that. Alright, let's go through and have a look at this video because I have a bit of an issue here and I want to debunk it. I was going to do this in sort of recording wise, but while you're here. Can you hear that? Let us know in chat if you can hear that, because I'm not quite sure if you can or not. All right. Now, the one thing that they won't mention this for quite a while with this video, and this is the thing that annoys me the most. It's not alleged, okay? The woman has came out and said it is a consensual relationship. She admitted, she's not even admitted to having a relationship. So they're just jumping the gun straight on that. But she's came out, she said, look, yes, I know Donald Trump. He was nothing but a gentleman. And that if she had had sexual relations with him, it would have been written in her book. So, you know, at the end of the day, you're kind of sitting there thinking, like, for a start, even if Donald Trump actually had sex with this woman, just say, hypothetically. Okay, yeah, sure, it's cheating and everything like that, but why does the mainstream media care? Like, at the very best situation for them, Donald Trump managed to bang a porn star. Holy shit, that is, wow. Like, that's it. And worst case scenario, he hasn't done anything, and he hasn't got to hook up with anybody. So, like, it is a complete waste of time. It really is. But they want their Nazis, they want their scuttlers, they want their section and the headings and. At the end of the day, like, I get why people are saying, oh, it's hush money. Look, if I went into politics, I had an extra $130,000 sitting around, I would have probably offered it to my ex as well. I don't have anything to hide, well, except some kinky fetishes, but I don't get, it's not like nipple clamps or anything like that, okay? Settle down. But what I'm going to say, look, at the end of the day, it's a good way to protect yourself. It's a good way to turn around and say, at the end of the day, you can't talk about our sexual relationship. Here's $130,000. It nips things coming out. It just stops things coming out and exposing him possibly down the track. I completely understand why he's done it. I really do not see a problem with it at all. So, yeah, like, yeah. Mind you, like I said, they haven't even admitted to actually having sex. She met him at a golf course, and that was about it. That's just, like she's saying, you know, they were friends. They were friendly. That was it. There was nothing inserted. But like I said, even if it had, he was banging a porn star. Who cares? I'm sorry, she's joking there, right? The Wall Street Journal, the editorial board, has been sympathetic to Donald Trump. What did she just say? Rather pleasant to Donald Trump. Really? What? Are you reading the same headlines as what I am? Because that doesn't make any sense. At all. To anybody. But anyway. I just want to go through and... What was this? What was the hashtag on this Stormy thing? That. Alright. Let's keep going. No, that's exactly what it is. It is in a liberal news article. It is a new liberal newspaper. The mainstream media is predominantly liberal. You can't sit there and claim that this is not a liberal paper. It is a liberal paper. Okay? And I'm sorry, but all of the mainstream media, excluding Fox, but even Fox News has jumped the line a few times, but most of the mainstream media has been anti-Trump. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but no, you're lying still. That's what they all want. It's what all the mainstream media wants. Trump will go down as probably the most hated president in the United States. That in itself is scary as shit, because he'll also probably go down as one of the most productive presidents of the United States. Whether you like him or not, you got to admit, he's going to give you more money in April. The economy is doing amazingly well. And I think that's why they hate him so much. If Trump was a failure, they would be rolling around laughing, going, yes, great news. But because he's not a failure and because he's doing a good job, that's why they hate him. They hate him so much for that. Because of what? Because he's doing a good job. Stupid as. And look, at the end of that, I'm not saying Trump hasn't done bad shit. He has. Firing 40-something Tomahawk missiles over at Syria. Big mistake. But credit where credit is due. So how many leakers were there? You just said there were 2. Then you said, literally in the next sentence after that, oh, we're not sure how many there were. So what? You're just making numbers up? You're just pulling numbers out of your ass now. Come on. Of course. Has anybody noticed in the past 12 months, everything the mainstream media gets is on the condition of anonymity? There has not been a story that broke that I know of where they've actually named the source in the past 12 to 18 months. That is insane. It really is. Now, like I said, okay, so let's deal with that. At the end of the day, like I said before, the fact that he was going into politics, I probably would have wanted that too with my ex. If I had hooked up with someone, let's just say the rumors are right. Let's just say he has actually hooked up with it and he's banged the porn star, for example. Then at the end of the day, I would want that as well. Even if I've done nothing wrong. Even if I am perfect gentleman and everything along those lines, I would still not want to go into politics without that non-disclosure. Because she will be dragged through the mud. They will try and get her to say stuff that didn't happen. It's the media, let's face it. You know, it would be a shitstorm. By her turning around, also saying that I can't talk about this, it stops them from doing that. But it's a good thing in a way, also because it keeps the focusing on that. That Trump, I said to someone the other day, Trump is a musician. He will sit there and he will say to the media, look at this bright and shiny object over here. Look at my tweets. And the media will run to it. They will flock to it. For example, Little Rocket Man and all that. You go through every time Trump has done something behind the curtain. He has always preempted it shortly or shortly after he has made a very controversial tweet. For example, today, he's gone through and he made that tweet about the shithole. These countries are shitholes. And people lost their shit. But what they didn't pay attention to was the other stuff that Trump did today. The Pfizer court and everything like that, which I'm looking into. And at the moment, I'm actually thinking that's a bit of a concern. And I was going to call him out on that. I want to do some more research, but to me, he is a magician. He is, hey, look at this tweet. Look what I'm doing. I'm dumb. Look at me. While they're looking at that, he then goes and does something else. And he is very good at doing that. He leads the media around by the nose, looking at all the shiny little objects while they're not paying attention to everything else he does. I will just put out this link. And all right, let's get going. Like I said, to me, That makes complete sense. After everything the media has put him through, I do not fault him a single bit for doing that. And in fact, I think it was probably one of the smartest things he's ever done. So, to me, completely makes sense. Now, they say she's admitted this privately. They won't actually read you her statement where she's actually denied anything sexual has actually gone on. Because in that statement, and I'll bring it up in a sec, she actually talks about how wonderful Trump was. How he was nothing but kind to her, and that he was amazing guy. They won't read you the statement because they don't want to admit that part. They're fucking snowflakes. Oh, let's have a whinge. Yes. They weren't brushed under the rug. They were completely discredited. In fact, I don't know any of these allegations, and I'll get to that in a sec, that have actually held up. You know, they did the same thing with Roy Moore. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not saying Roy Moore's innocent or he's guilty. I have no idea, to be completely honest. But at the end of the day, I'll tell you now, the famous tactic or the infamous tactic of the left is to go through, brand someone a sexual assault perpetrator, and basically discredit him for the election, which is what they did with Roy Moore. Now, has anyone else been completely shocked that after the election, we haven't heard anything about Roy Moore's sexual assault at all? That's interesting, isn't it? Like, at the end of the day, it's like these girls just all of a sudden shut up about it. I wonder why. Interesting. But, you know, like I say, yeah, at the end of the day, it's like you're sitting there thinking, like, come on. You just, what, brand people sexual assault victims. You discredit them. They win or lose the election. And then afterwards, you just shut up about it. Obviously, your case is not real solid. If I was sexually assaulted by someone, I'm not going to go dropping it just because he won the election or lost the election. I'm going to be standing on the friggin' top of the rooftop, screaming my lungs out, saying this guy raped me or whatever. I'm not going to shut up just because the election's over. Would anybody else? Probably not. Dude, I don't know why you're carrying on, okay? If this encounter, say this encounter is true, it basically means that Trump has got with a porn star. Let's just say, on face value, say it's true. He is obviously better at getting the girls than you. You can sit there and shiver as much as you want, but he obviously has more game. Oh, okay. Alright, thanks, man. I will try and fix that. He obviously has more game than you when it comes to picking up girls. So, yeah, like, that. Okay, that should fix it. So let me know. Thanks, man. Hey, welcome back, by the way. Sorry about before. I was playing around with the settings and I closed the stream by accident. All right. So yeah, you can sit there and shiver as much as you want, but at the end of the day, Trump obviously has better game. If these allegations are true, Trump has better game than you. So I would shut the fuck up, right? Seriously, and yeah, like get off your pedestal because he's got better game than you, man.
To be honest with you guys, when it comes to adults engaged in a consensual situation,
you should be able to hear the audio now. I think I fixed it. Let us know if you can or can't, please.
I don't care about infidelity. That's none of my business.
Great, terrific. Video's over, right? Of course not. But yeah, she's literally just said that. So why are you all going on about this? Besides the fact that this video has had over 100,000 views. Oh wait, that's probably why you're going on about it. Because it deals with porn stars and Trump. Like, thanks man. Thanks, cool. Welcome back, by the way. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's why you're talking about this. I don't care about consensuals. Great, terrific. Why are you still talking about this? But, you know, I don't know. Anyway.
None of my business, right? If it's not impacting me in any way, why should I care? Why should I get involved? But for me, the reason why this is relevant is because there seems to be a pattern, right, of let me pay this person off, hush money, hush money. And I'm concerned about possible bribery that could happen, a possible extortion that could happen with...
Oh my God, they're hinting at Russia again. Like, we've had 12 months. We've had 12 months of Russiagate. And there has literally been nothing that has come out about it. There is Robert Mueller is so desperate to try and get something on Trump to get rid of him that he's now asking Trump to please go and have an interview with us, an informal interview. Oh, by the way, if Trump does that, he is a frigging nut. Okay? I would be happy for them to use the 25th Amendment on him if he willingly sits down with Mueller and has a chat. That, I'm sorry, but you're bonkers if you do that. He will use whatever you say in that court to try and trick you on treason charges or whatever he can, perjury charges. They will sit there and they will ask Trump the exact same question over and over and over, 500 different ways, until they get a slightly different answer, and they'll say, hey, you lied. And they'll get him for treason on that. Or they'll try and get him on perjury or something like that. Like what they did with General Flynn is a little different. He willingly lied to the FBI. But that's what they'll try and do. They'll try and do the exact same thing with him. Because they can't stand Trump winning. Like, I thought Trump running for Prime Minister, or President, sorry, when he first did it, I thought it was a joke. I was playing Destiny at the time and I was laughing with my mates. And then 12 months later, and I'm like, shit, he's actually going to win this. And this is before the election night. A little bit of backstory. Everybody goes on about, oh, all the polls turned around and said Trump was going to lose. No, that's not true. Anonymous actually went through and actually rang 1,000 people in all 50 states. They rang over 50,000 people. And they did a blind survey on who would you vote for, Trump or Hillary. And back then, the majority of the people said Trump. Now, what they do with polls is they go through and they use party lines. They go Republican and Democrat. The problem with Trump and how that doesn't work with him is because he's not a Democrat or a Republican. He's a centrist. He is literally both. He ran as a Republican, yes, but that's because he knew that Hillary was going to screw over the DNC. He knew that if he ran as a Democrat, he wouldn't have a chance. And he is religious and whatnot, so he ran as a Republican. But yeah, but at the end of the day, he is a centrist. And that's why he's like for gay rights and stuff like that. But he's also for tough immigration. He's like me, really. That's probably why I like him. I don't know. But like I say, yeah. But an anonymous poll back then said that there was that they said that Trump was going to win. And that was the anonymous group. I will find the video because I want to debunk this whole "no one ever saw this coming" bullshit, because it's a lot of crap.
Other, you know, foreign governments and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this is a character flaw that should be...
Oh my God, we're going to talk about character flaws. Are you serious? Look at Hillary. The Steele dossier, Uranium One, everything. The Haiti situation. You know, the 8 years of Obama made people forget how insane the left can be. Yeah, man, I totally agree with that. They're just doing Bush turned up to 11. Yeah. Yeah, when Bush... Look, I was not a big fan of Bush when he was in. I did notice back then that the media was extremely biased. I noticed it back then. That was sort of my red pill moment, was back in the day of Bush, if you want to get technical, I suppose. But yeah, that's when I started noticing the biased media. But what I was going to say was, this is the thing. The Democrats lose, right? And they just go insane. As long as they're like spoilt children. As long as they're winning, as long as they've won, they're fine. They don't care. They just screw the country over. But when they lose, they just go nuts. They start shrieking at the sky, for example. How bonkers do you have to be to start shrieking at the sky? And the worst thing is they're trying to pass Trump off as insane. Like, come on, like, you're literally yelling at the sky. Like, but yeah, anyway. But you want to talk about your candidates being exposed? Let's talk Hillary, okay? Because I tell you now, she has a lot more to lose than Trump ever did. Okay? She has got more damage or more baggage or more possible black marks, whatever you want to refer to, whatever you want to call it, against her than Trump ever will. Okay? Even Russia. Apparently in communications I've seen, Russia actually wanted her to win. Probably so they could blackmail her. I don't know. But yeah, anyway.
Considered.
Well, wasn't this also something that he held against Hillary Clinton for Bill Clinton's adventures?
Yeah.
And he accused him.
Okay, no, that's entirely not true. Bill Clinton, he held against Bill Clinton being alleged a rapist. Now, this is nowhere near, and this is one thing that the left loves to do as well. They love to sit there and they love to mix facts. And you'll find out in a sec, they'll start talking about Me Too. Like, oh my God. But, yeah. But, for example, they're talking, all right, you got Bill Clinton, who went through, had allegedly raped women back in his college heydays, had sex with Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office with a cigar, along those lines. Like, the whole Monica Lewinsky thing, look, to be honest, it didn't bother me. You know, I would much rather Bill Clinton getting his rocks off with Monica Lewinsky on the Oval Office desk than dropping bombs, okay, so to speak. But at the end of the day, obviously the college stuff is bad. It is really bad, and that's where that whole rapist thing comes from. You are trying to relate that to Donald Trump having a consensual relationship, possibly, we don't even know if it happened because they're both denying it, with a porn star. Like, how? I don't know. Anyway.
Him of extortion and giving hush money to other women that he was in consensual relationships with as well. So again, this comes calling back the same thing that he accuses somebody else he himself has done before. So I think that to me is, you know, the most mind
the hypocrisy and the projection. And you know, it's become so commonplace with Trump and this administration that when hypocrisy happens, I mean, we're desensitized to it.
No, it's not Trump. It's general politics that does that. At the end of the day, and like I said, I don't think Trump is anywhere as bad as that they're saying here. Okay, I actually think he's doing a decent job. But in general politics, it is a mud-flinging, shit-throwing contest. Like, people are saying that Oprah won't actually run in 2020 because of her image. She has this saintly, angelic, which is a complete load of crap, but anyway, image, and that if she runs for politics, everything will come out. And that's why she won't run. So, yeah, it's no, and no.
Have normalized it. And so, yeah, you're right. I remember, during the election, the stuff going around regarding Bill Clinton being a rapist.
Because he allegedly raped women in a college. Yet, you're trying to put together, him being a rapist, Bill Clinton being a rapist, and Donald Trump having a consensual relationship. It doesn't work. You can't go through and say, hey, you've had a consensual relationship. You're almost as bad as a rapist, which is what the left loves to do, but anyway. But, you're sitting there thinking, no, you can't. If you go and buy a car from a car yard, you can't then accuse me of stealing it later.
Mind you, not soon after that, there were the accusations against Trump and the sexual misconduct. There was the Access Hollywood tape where he bragged about groping women. And
he bragged about women letting you grope them. Okay? He literally said in the video that when you're famous, they'll let you do it. Was it a dick thing to say? Sure. But I tell you what, if you have me recorded 24 hours a day or whatever it may be, and I tell you now, some of the shit I say, some of the shit on my Twitter line alone is probably enough to get me not to run to politics. I literally tweeted out the other day, actually I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to delete the tweet actually, I might delete it after this, but yeah, I literally tweeted out the other day saying that, can we go through and fund a study for African males so that we can take their dick size and put it into a white person? This alone probably would be enough to disqualify me from running for politics. Yeah.
And so,
and Jessica Drake saying at the same exact event he forced himself on her, kissed her without her consent, and she didn't come forward to receive any amount of money.
But then she just magically stopped when he won the election. Oh, the election's over. Well, I guess there's no point now. Bye. And waves and walks off. Really? I'm sorry, but if I was sexually assaulted by someone, I wouldn't give up because they won the election. I would be like, this needs to continue because you are now in a position of power. Why is it that these women just didn't want to press charges? Oh, maybe because the fruitless lawsuits? I don't know.
Did it because she felt like she needed to expose him.
She needed to expose him, but once he won the election, she was needs over. Never mind now. Sure.
And also, the irony that Ivanka Trump would retweet Oprah's. Yeah.
Can we just talk about how hot Ivanka Trump is? Holy damn. God, that girl is beautiful. Yeah.
A time's up to say, yeah, let's come together and fight this and fight.
And at the end of the day, with Ivanka Trump, look, the one thing that worries me about her is the fact that she's very, very pally with Hollywood. And this is the one thing they won't talk about. Her and Jared, will have meetings with George Soros. He is the freaking enemy of Trump. He is literally funding left-wing attacks on your dad, and you're having lunch with him. I would be like, son, if you do that again, I will hit you so freaking hard that your ears will ring for a week. You gonna tell me that George Soros isn't sitting there going through and making mental notes on everything that Jared is going to say? Or that he's going to try and milk him from some information? Of course he is. Why are you having lunch with the enemy? You know, keep your enemies closer. No, deport your enemies. Send him back to Hungary because they want him right now. The Hungary Prime Minister, the Hungarian Prime Minister, he is woke as. He is literally saying, send Soros back, we will deal with him. Put Soros on a plane, send him to Hungary, and let them deal with him.
You know, the basis of this movement and this campaign to eradicate sexual harassment, gender inequity, she could just like turn her head and find the first person to start prosecuting.
I don't know why.
Well, then obviously she must be in great company because everybody in Hollywood that's running around using the hashtag Time's Up is actually partly responsible for it. And I know Orban Strong. Who's Orban Strong? Is that someone's name or? I don't understand the reference to that, man. But what I was going to say was, yeah, like all these Hollywood celebrities that go, I think, Orban, known as Orban. I've never heard. Is this a name or? Yeah. Is that the? Yeah, that's okay. That's his name. Okay. Yeah, yeah. He is woke as like, yeah. Like there are a few countries over there that like I'm keeping in the back of my mind for like exit strategies, like Victoria over Hungary. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Like there's a few countries over there that I've kept in my mind: Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic. They also put up a decent stronghold as well. I think they sort of said okay to the migrants, but then they sort of pushed them out the door as they went in again. So, you know, I'm not sure if that's I'm not sure what's happening with Czech, but Czech Republic was also putting up a bit of a stronghold too. But Poland, dude, Poland is woke. Like, shit, yeah. Like, if everything else fails in Europe and America, I am heading to Poland. So, yeah. But yeah, everyone in Hollywood that's running around using these hashtag It's Time's Up and all those sort of hashtags, they are responsible. I know people are going to get upset about me saying this, but these women literally took the payday and took the D to further their career. 20 or 30 years later, after they're big Hollywood stars, they then go on complaining, saying, oh, he sexually assaulted me. Okay, if it's a casting couch, is what I've heard, it's a casting couch sort of situation, where, hey, suck my dick, you get a job sort of thing, right? That's not sexual assault. Oh, they're claiming it's position of power and all that, but Slavs remember the Islamic version of the Europe. Yeah. Let's not talk about the Islamic versions in the past because that might upset a few people. Like I was going through and I was telling someone the other day, they were going on about the mass migration. They were going on about how the Americans brought the blacks over to America. And how the white Americans had slaves. And I was like, do you realize that the Crusades was basically the Christians versus Islam? That before that, the Islam had slaves of themselves. That the poster boy that the left want everybody to be like, which is insane as it is, literally had slaves before America. You go on about America having slaves, yet the ones that you openly endorse had slaves. Like, typical left, I swear. But, anyway.
Ivanka Trump keeps putting herself in that situation because, is it because she lacks any and all self-awareness? I don't know, but I feel like, much like her father, she doesn't...
I think it was in that book that they were talking, that I don't like referencing Fire and Fury because it's bullshit, but in that book, Bannon supposedly calls her dumb as a brick. I do wonder if that might be exaggerated, but to some point, that was somewhat true. That the way she has lunch with George Soros and she gets along with these Hollywood elites and all that, and I'm like, they are the enemy, and she doesn't seem to catch up on that point. And that's one thing that me and her will probably agree on, is that Ivanka Trump probably, yeah, I don't think she's the sharpest tool in the shed. Gorgeous as, beautiful as, I don't think she's the sharpest tool in the shed, though. And I hate to say that because she is so beautiful, but yeah, it's a good old adage, I suppose. You can't have beauty and brains, but yeah.
Stop to think about the ramifications or the response that she's going to get in regard to those types of tweets. Anyway.
Yeah. So Trump says so many things that contradict each other. You project some kind of sense onto it.
That sounds like a throwaway statement. Can you please back that up? Bet you won't.
Ivanka says so little.
No, of course he doesn't. Hey, that's what the left love to do. If you're going to say stuff like that, dude, back it up with facts. For example, Obama was a crap president. Why? Because he got rid of ICANN for a start. Because he went through and basically clucked on Iran. Because he did so many things. Haiti, and he bailed out the banks of Wall Street. And there was so many issues. He didn't keep any of his promises. Yeah, if you're going to make things, if you're going to make statements about something, back it up with follow-up statements about what you actually think, that why you actually think that. And this is one thing that the left really do piss me off when they do. They sit there and they go, oh, and the right does it to a certain point as well, I will admit, but you know, the right's in power, so we'll talk about the left. But what I was going to say is, but the left really do, they say things and they don't back up what they say.
Little,
yeah,
that you project some kind of cohesive meaning to it all.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I feel. I have no idea what she's like. I want to like her because I need someone in that family who's a voice of reason for my own sanity.
I'm sorry, dude, but you're a progressive left. Your sanity left you a long time ago. Okay, you're way out there on left field, all playing with yourself.
That's the difficult thing with Ivanka. It drove me crazy when I saw the Me Too thing. It's just like, well, time's up.
Drove you crazy? I thought you already were crazy.
Tell your dad.
Yeah, tell your dad, exactly. Or another example is how Melania Trump's mission is to combat bullying. And so it's just, it just shows a lack of self-awareness. And I don't mean that.
Who is Trump bullying besides the mainstream media? Like, once again, they make blanket statements, they don't back it up. Who is he bullying? What? The mainstream media, which has done hit piece after hit piece after hit piece on him. How many times does a guy have to have hit pieces written on him before you sit there and you think, maybe the problem is actually us? That maybe us sitting there writing article after article after article isn't helping the situation. I don't know. That would be me.
Melania Trump is a bully. Actually, to be quite honest with you, Melania Trump has been the winner in this presidency, mostly because she doesn't want any part of it. So I think she's just kind of staying behind the scenes. And
it would make sense if Stormy Daniels paid Trump $130,000 not to brag about having sex with her. Don't tell anyone I came near you. You're grossy. I don't get it, but like with these
that point where your joke doesn't land and your co-host just sit there saying no. You literally watch her. She shakes her head to tell him to knock it off.
I don't get it, but like with these non-disclosure agreements, I don't get it, but like with these non-disclosure agreements, part of me goes like, Stormy Daniels, you get your money. Even if you came out at that time in that way, you two having a consensual relationship is way better, sadly, than the Access Hollywood tape, which we all did see and didn't end up swaying the election.
Right. But
there's no reason out there.
Right, but then you have to.
But shit, he just debunked our whole argument that he has just basically admitted that this whole thing is irrelevant. Elections were lost when the candidates said that they listened to their children. Now people want the president's family to set policy. Sad. Elections were lost when candidates said they listened to their children. Now people want the president's family to show. Yeah. I don't know. I like to think that the MAGA movement is a little bit different than that. I think there's a lot of opposition against Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner being involved in Trump's election and Trump's presidency. I think if Ivanka turned around and said that she was going to take a back seat from the election, that people would sit there and yes, great, terrific, please do that, because we don't want you there. Like, that's one thing in Fire and Fury. They say that there was the leaks, if you believe the book, that the leaks were actually Bannon, Kushner, and Paul Manafort. That the three of them were actually competing with each other for Trump's attention so that they would leak stuff to the press. Now, Paul Manafort, I don't really know the guy that well. I would say probably not. Banning, I could sort of imagine him probably doing it if he had to. But Kushner, yeah, I would see Kushner as definitely he's just a son-in-law. He's not blood related. You know, he's there basically for Ivanka Trump. Like, you can't blame him for that either, but still. Yeah.
To ask yourself, why did his lawyer, who calls himself I'm the Mr. Fix-It guy, decide that it was imperative to pay her off and to pay her?
Because at the end of the day, they don't want you going through digging up every single private matter of someone's life and blasting it all over the news. Like, you know, they make references here to the Steele dossier that comes up in a sec. But they talk about him and his pee-pee. Like, you know, and I'm not saying that Steele dossier. We know the Steele dossier is fake. We know it's a load of crap. But at the end of the day, if he does have some kink, fetish, whatever it may be, then yeah, he probably doesn't want it all over mainstream news. Shit, I think if you go through everyone's life, everyone's sexual habits or private life, someone will have a kink or a fetish that you probably don't want to exactly out in the opposite. No, out there, yeah. Like, hell, I know I've got a few. Not telling anybody, but like I say, I've got a few. Like, we just all found out about Kraut's nipple clamps. Like, I would have slept better knowing, or not knowing, sorry. I would have slept better not knowing that Kraut likes nipple clamps. In case you don't know, Kraut's another YouTuber. But I was going to say, a very big YouTuber, but still, another YouTuber. But yeah, like I say, we all have kink fetishes. And I imagine that's why he's done it. Yeah.
Off that amount a month before the election.
What type of tidal wave that could start, right?
See, this is the thing. She's not dumb. The Anita Sarkeesian. No, I don't know her name. I can't remember her name. Thoughts on Kraut's demise? You know, apparently he's coming back. I have an issue with Kraut because of what he did to Storm, Rage After Storm. Alright, so Rage After Storm, in case you're not sure, an 18-year-old YouTuber who made a controversial video about race. And she linked a few articles to the Daily Stormer and stuff like that. And look, at the end of the day, even they've come out now and they've said that, like, even Andy Warski has actually made a video where he's basically said that, yeah, she was right. She might have phrased it wrong, but what she was actually saying is correct. And I think Kraut went after the alt-right because of what happened to her. He went after Rage Against the Storm, or Rage After Storm. He kind of got slammed by that for doing that. So he thought he would have his revenge on the alt-right by going after them, and it's backfired. Like, even Sargon now is going through and he's doing this collective individual, whatever the freak that is, group thing. That even that is, it's very much against him, against the alt-right. And I want to talk about that. Actually, I'll talk about that in a sec. But the alt-right isn't a bunch of pushovers. They are very well crafted when it comes to debates. We saw that when Richard Spencer went up against Sargon, which was basically Sargon getting his ass handed to him, which is a shame because I actually like Sargon, and I don't have a problem with Richard Spencer either. I like listening to Richard Spencer's ideas. I don't agree with them, but I like to hear his side of the points. But what I was going to say was, but I can see where Richard Spencer and the alt-right want their ethno-state. I can, with everything that's going on over in Europe, I can sort of see why they're going to that extreme. And we'll talk about that after if you like. But yeah, and I fully get that. But yeah, I think Kraut went after the alt-right because he wanted payback for the way that he was portrayed when he went after Rage After Storm. Personally, I would like Storm to come back. I think, and there were rumors about her wanting to come back. So at the end of the day, yeah, if she was to come back, I think it would be a good thing. Because I actually quite liked her content, and she was kind of cute in a sort of girl next door sort of way. So yeah, but yeah, if anybody knows how to get hold of her, tell her. I'll love to have a chat to her sometime, and if she wants to come back, I think it would be great. But yeah.
I mean,
but to answer the question very, very, very quickly, Kraut's demise, long overdue, and he deserves it because he's a dick.
She knows if he likes the pee-pee.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Just saying.
So, and there we are. And there's the PP reference. But yeah. But like I say, look. Yeah. Anyway. The Young Turks. I need bleach. Is there any other videos you want to go through and have a look at, or do you want to talk about anything in chat in general, or we could really piss off some leftists and I can put on some German Nazi music and let it play while I go and get a drink for 5 minutes. Triggering the left is so easy. What was the other big scandal of the day? It was something else. I forgot now. In case you haven't been following us on Twitter, there's a bit of a Twitter war going on at the moment. It's Ghastly, AP, myself, and it's some of the guys from the cunt stream. And yeah, we're just basically shitposting each other. I will actually put this on the screen. I love it. Yeah, he is. He's making the exact same mistakes that Sargon is. He is literally doing the exact same thing by going on about the alt-right. And okay, so with the alt-right, I'm not sure where your political position lies, but with the alt-right, they're not a bunch of chumps. That you can't use your stupid arguments that you've been using. So the leftists, the progressives are easy to tear apart. Like this stuff here, the Young Turks, is insanely easy to tear apart. The reason is because they don't use any sort of decent logic. They are children, basically. The alt-right is the opposite. The alt-right have literally had the past 10 years of people trying to beat them down. So their arguments are extremely refined. So instead of going through and being able to sort of beat them with logic that we've all used, like for example, someone goes on about mass migration. We can bring up stats off the top of your head about, you know, that 90% or 80% of them or whatever it is are people between the ages of 18 to 35. We can go on about that sort of stuff. With the alt-right, their arguments have been so refined that they can't be debunked easily. And the people in the skeptic community or the centrist or the left, liberals or whatever you may be, they haven't spent the time debating the alt-right, which is why I like the Andy Wolski thing. I'm a big fan of what Andy Wolski's doing at the moment. I wasn't a fan of him when he dogpiled on Rage After Storm. I actually tweeted about that at the time, I believe, saying that this is ridiculous that you're dogpiling on someone who's literally a young girl. But now what he's doing with the open debate, I fully love it and I fully support it. Plus, it's also fun to stir Andy Wolski about being alt-right too. There's a video coming out in the next few days that is going to be a bit of a troll session. Keep your eye out for that. But basically, I think that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, basically the alt-right, and Sargon's making the same mistakes now, is he's going through and he's trying to use these stupid arguments that he's already preconceived and that he already has against the alt-right, and it's not working because they've refined their argument. They're 5 steps ahead of him. You know, you can't sit there and go, yeah, you're ethno-state because of feels. Because of the past year or 2 years, you have literally been going on about your feelings and how facts over feelings. And now you're trying to use that exact same argument against the alt-right. And this whole libertarian, liberist bullshit, like, it's Kraut 2.0. It really is. He just needs to turn around and say, yep, look, you're right, it's a stupid label. We're just going to call ourselves Sargonites or something. I don't know. But, yeah. I think it was Johnny Fox actually did a video on it this morning. I was watching it. It was actually really good. He went through and broke it all down. Very worthwhile going and checking that out. Because he did a really... There he is there. He did a really good job on that. What else? What I might do is I might play some music for a sec while I go and get a drink, and I'll be back in like 2 minutes. If you want to think of something, or if you want to join Discord or anything like that, let us know. Until then, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so Brendan Chases a children's novel. Not sure if that's what you mean. Yeah, I don't get the Brendan face either, actually. Alright, you want to talk about Project Veritas? Because this is actually...
This has been...
So I'm not sure if you've actually seen this or if you want to talk about this, but this is Project Veritas's brand new video. It was put out a couple hours ago. He's actually gone through and he's teasing Jack at Twitter. It's a very short video, but have a listen to this. Let us know what you think.
It's been an incredible week for Project Veritas. Our undercover Twitter videos have become internet blockbusters and have been blown up on social media itself, especially on Twitter. Check out the hashtag Shadowban and American Pravda. Twitter's official statements have been non-denial denials. The mainstream media has mostly ignored the stories, but they do so to their own peril, just continuing their downward spiral into irrelevance. Monday morning, we're releasing more shocking undercover footage from Twitter engineers, exposing how they take your private information, share it, exploit it, and abuse it. A senior engineer says the stuff they do is, quote, creepy big brother. It disturbs me, unquote. Believe me, the other things you will see and hear are incendiary. Now, Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter, this message is for you. Every Monday morning, you get your coffee at Blue Bottle on Market Street in San Francisco. A few times, you've interacted with some artists, homeless people, businessmen, who may or may not have been some of our undercover journalists. You may recall a few of these interactions. Remember what you said? We do. I was watching from the yoga studio across the courtyard a few of these times. You may want to think about which of your employees also interacted with some of these
I'll actually get to that in a sec, because that's actually an interesting thing.
Same people and what they said. Again, Jack, take the weekend to think about it.
American Pravda by James.
So, yeah, I'm not sure what actually happened with the abortion clinic. I think that was before the channel started. But I know he was accused of setting up mainstream media for that girl that was supposedly going to be a fake Roy Moore story or something along those lines a couple months back. Just on that topic, for example, we still don't know if she was actually working with James. I like James O'Keefe, so I'm a little bit biased when it comes to this, I suppose, but he didn't actually admit to her working for him. She hasn't admitted to working for him. It is entirely possible, I suppose, that she was. It is entirely possible that she also just went and saw him after mainstream media, because at the end of the day, she might thought that maybe he'll run the story. I don't know. He's a journalist after all. So yeah, he has been caught doing some deceptive edits in the past, but regardless of that, I don't really think you can, unless you got the guy to sit there and go, hey, can you repeat after me, blah, and then you just get him saying that. I don't know how this could be spun to look good. That there's no way that you could sit there and spin this to say that this guy's been taken out of context, when there's literally sitting there saying that they store all your information. Like, what's the argument? Was that, you know, you sort of, you can't rebut that. I can't think of any way that comes off as a deceptive edit. Like, you know, the only way it could really be deceptive is if he said that, for example, the staff were against that, but we store, or the staff were against, or Jack was against this, but the government made him store that data. Then, you know, at the end of the day, there's no way that Twitter comes out of this as a positive light. We know they're shadow banned. Like, I can tell you now that my tweets, my YouTube channel, like I lose subs or Twitter followers every day. At a certain time of the night, every night, my Twitter followers go down. I have been, at the moment, what am I now? I bet you I'm just under 800. Yep, okay, 795. I have been sitting on or hovering around the 790 to 800 followers for the past week. It got up to 799. I think it actually got up to 800 at one stage. But then at every time of the night, I lose followers. I'll lose about 5 to 10 followers every night. I don't see how I would have 5 or 10 people unfollowing me every day. That it's a pretty big drop off to have, and it is only since I've started trolling mainstream media. Lately, I've been going through and I've made a list of all the mainstream media, and I'll go through and I'll read their topics and I'll debunk what they say in their comment section, or reply to their Twitter, their videos, and I'll reply to what they say and I'll debunk what they say. Ever since I've been doing that, like, for example, let's give you a natural example here. So here's my Twitter account, and it's going to be a bit down because I've been tweeting a lot today. Here's all this Smeckle stuff. Here, okay, so here's an example here. Here's a thread that I was in, right? Jack Tapper. Deleting a Twitter headline from our show about Franstein. Apology to Grassley for postly. Apology was not for telling him ahead of time, not for releasing transcripts. Thanks. Now, I said, can we have a count on how many corrections and false stories or false news stories your employer ran last week? We need to know about the fake news awards. Someone responded saying at least they make corrections. Yeah. I'll get to that in a sec, actually. So yes, I said yes, but sometimes the retractions don't go unnoticed as they get retweets originally stories do. For example, there was actually a image I retweeted earlier today where it actually was about a retraction and the original story. The original story got like 800 retweets. The retraction got like 20. There was a huge difference between those two. And that's what I was basically saying is at the end of the day, yes, I get what you're saying, but they generally don't have the same penetration. They don't have the same sort of depth that the original one does. And it's not anything malicious. It's just the fact that things were trending at the time, more people saw it. People make mistakes, especially reporters. In the end, they are businesses. To get stories out. Makes mistakes too. He's using retractions, fake news, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Of course, reporters make mistakes, but when they edit footage and deliberately modify footage, do you really think it's a mistake? After they have an issue, multiple retractions, a week makes you wonder how much is a mistake and how much is deliberate for fake news. Now, ever since I've been sort of doing this sort of stuff and responding to people and going through and sort of debunking the mainstream narrative, my Twitter hasn't seemed to grow at all. Interestingly, I'll go up and then I'll lose subs, then I'll go down, and then I'll go up and then I'll lose subs, and then I'll go down, and I'm constantly in this yo-yo effect when it comes to Twitter. YouTube probably does this. There are a lot more good channels. They've been stuck at 3K subs for a year now. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look. Twitter is, YouTube is worse when it comes to suppressing, actually. Okay. So here's the list of the stories I've made for the past X amount of time. Julian Assange was in an Ecuadorian soccer jersey. That was at the height of it, right? And it only had 9 views. Now, yeah, I'm a small channel, whatever, right? 11, 9, 14, blah, 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 right? Damore lawsuit, 32. 51 for James Damore. But 2 injured in explosion at Swedish Stockholm is 117. Now, if you go back and... if I can go back 12 months... no, okay, it's going to be a very, very long click. So yeah, before the Google went through and started censoring everything that people were doing, I would actually have anywhere from 100 to 1,000 views per video. Because I generally cover trending topics. So yeah, the censorship when it comes to Google is bad. It is very, very bad. And you're right. Yeah, they do it. There's a lot of good channels. Yeah, yeah. Like, for example, that if I had to put that story up an hour after the video, after it happens, then I can get away with it because they haven't actively censored it yet. They don't know about it. But if you go through and you put a video up about that 3 hours after the incident, then you are heavily censored. To the point where if it's literally a terrorist attack and it's after an hour, I don't even really put in... I have second thoughts about doing the video. I don't have the 100 or so more views to break the censorship. So the first 100 or so views, I find that they're very big on censorship. And then after that, YouTube will actually go through and will start pushing the video. And they'll actively push it. So that obviously goes through, and then it gets past the censorship once you got more than 100 views. So yeah. Yeah. What the hell? Okay, this is... I was just... So, EFF. Who is EFF? I heard of that bit. EFF. Don't know. Alright, have a look at this. Let us know what you think about this.
Is this allowed? Woo! Ninja style! Ninja style! Damn. Oh, ninja. Yeah, ninja.
Wow. Okay. So basically, they're trashing a H&M store. I'm guessing this, if I had to guess, was probably due to the relationship with that that young guy that was wearing the monkey shirt. That happened. So I'm guessing what that is in relationship to. What else is happening? Huh.
Who I consider a friend. She's a, Mr. Marquis, just as you know, got off of NBC here, and I just wanted to just, say to Joy, who I consider a friend, she's a, she's always been very kind and I think fair to me, but I think obviously in the interview that you just saw, if you watch Joy Reid, that she should just move to Haiti. If since she's more concerned about Haitian immigrants than Black Americans here in poverty in America. And then they try to, if you're so concerned about the Haitians, then you should move to Haiti and donate your checks to those families who are in need in Haiti, because the Clintons allegedly stole millions of dollars in earthquake fund.
Wasn't millions, it was billions, wasn't it? I actually retweeted about this earlier today. So here's this tweet thing I was telling you about earlier. So 2,829 tweets originally, and the retweet got 75. So big difference. That tweet is gone. Are you kidding? Yeah, it's gone. Freaking hell, they've deleted it. Censorship's not real. Yeah, Gumballs. I've seen that. Really good video, actually. Should be mandatory to watch for everyone at school. What's this? Yeah. 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 All right. What else is there? Oops, you didn't say that. All this immigration talk ignores that there is a humanitarian action that is less than useless. Yeah, have a good night, man. Enjoy. Yeah, I agree with that, actually. There's also a reason why they need to stay there as well, though. Them staying there is good for them. It's good for their country. Alright. Sort of ignored Discord, didn't I?
Doing some recording of my new album, and I just want to do a little live streaming. We're also doing a photo shoot right now. Cell phone photo shoot.
That's Travis Allen.
Travis Allen, the infamous
Meet
Travis Allen.
Woo!
All right. Pretending like we're singing here.
A couple of
As the former...
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to make a peaceful, non-violent citizens' event with no being named. We have Sadiq Khan, Keir Starmer, Pat Green MP, Andrew Hallam.
Could I ask the gentleman to leave and then we can hear from our speaker? Could I ask if we have an escorted from the building, please? Thank you very much. Thank you all for your
Gentlemen, we are here today to make a peaceful, non...
How are they pro-Trump supporters? I don't get that. Alright guys, I might jump off too actually. Been going for an hour and a half, so yeah. If you do watch this video, it'll be up on archive, so obviously feel free to check it out. Apart from that guys, I might try and do a live show every Sunday night. I don't know, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Apart from that guys, obviously this video has been helpful. Please smack a like. If my webcam would stop losing me on tracking, that'd be great. Apart from that, obviously the video has been helpful. Smack a like. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that guys, I'll see you in the next video. Have a great night and enjoy.